the recognized symbol of excellence in collecting podcasts.
What's up, guys? Welcome to Mighty Champions Action Figure Radio. This is the show where we talk about action figures, toys, collectibles, and all that sort of thing. My name is John Sargent.
And my name is Christian McGann.
Whoa, feeling saucy today,
I'm
huh?
feeling saucy today, man.
Confident. I like it.
I'm looking at my custom action figure. He looks just like me.
And you're feeling it.
And I'm feeling it.
If you guys are into that sort of topic, you have come to the right place because we are loaded on this episode. We're going to get into a segment called Action Figure Moneyball, where we play GM mode with one another's collections.
Yeah.
Trying to make some trades, some fictional trades.
Yeah.
We're going to get into the news of the week, which is pretty fat this week. And we're also going to go through our Mount Rushmore of playsets. And fantasy build a playset.
Correct.
Each, which dude, mine is
I was trying to guess what yours was. I was thinking about it.
Honestly, when you hear it, you're going to go, oh yeah, obviously.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
Like obviously. So that's what we got loaded up for you guys this week. You guys can follow along with all the fun on Instagram at Mighty Champions. That's where we're going to put all of your visuals. So if you want to see the stuff that we bought, the stuff that we're opening on the show, the things that we're talking about, follow us at Mighty Champions. That's where we're going to pose the questions. We got a couple of bangers this week to answer for you guys. That's where you can leave your memories of your favorite toy and a Toy Soldier figure flashback. So following us on Instagram at Mighty Champions is the best way to kind of keep up with the way, with what's going on. The best way you can support the show is by leaving us a review. So if you're on Apple, scroll down to the bottom, hit the little 5 stars. If you're on Spotify, hit the 3 dots, and that'll bring up your option to review. That's the best, and really, at the moment, the only way that you can support us. It's the only way that the show can grow, and we would be very much appreciative if you could take the time to do a review for us. In addition to that, you guys can buy my toys. If you have Whatnot, the app, you can come see us on February the 20th, 7:30 at night. And I'm going to be selling all sorts of stuff. Predator, Star Wars, Marvel, wrestling, AEW, WWE, all sorts of stuff going up for sale. $1 starts. If you don't know what Whatnot is, it's basically like eBay if it was an Instagram Live. So you just go on there, you like something, you start bidding on it until it's the price that you want, and then I send it to you. It's that simple. It's super fun. It'll be a hangout with us. It'll be another chance for us to kind of communicate with you guys, a little bit of back and forth, so it's going to be a good time. Even if you're not buying anything, come hang out with us. February 20th on Whatnot. In addition to that, there is a Marvel live stream. What day is this episode going to drop? Monday, and I think that Marvel live stream is on Tuesday.
I think so.
So there's going to be a bunch of brand new news there that we'll be, commenting on and reposting and all of that sort of stuff. So stay tuned to Mighty Champions wherever you can. Okay, I'm already sick of the sound of my own voice. I had a really interesting day today, but what have you been up to?
Man, yeah. So, number one, we work together, so obviously we talk pretty, there's nothing really new, right? Other than the days, weekends and stuff like that.
We try not to talk about toys.
Some stuff, yeah, we'll try to avoid for sure.
We fail at it.
And there are some things that we're just not going to, it would be juicy to have.
We try to keep this podcast pretty positive, pretty judgment-free. So
we'll get judgy, but there's some where we go too far. Yeah, and it's we'll hang back.
Yeah,
on
the super judgmental stuff is when we're not recording.
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, man,
if you want the judgmental stuff, Whatnot?
Patreon. Just us trash talking, man. Oh my
Venmo.
God. Yeah, exactly. So no, man, but yeah, I mean, for those, if you're tuning in for the first time, John and I work together. John owns a gym. I'm a personal trainer at that gym, but I also play baseball. And I think I'm 9 weeks into my off-season program. obviously you heard me talk a lot this week. Very, very like toxic relationship with baseball this week. It was almost like this thing that's been this love that you just are like, you know, in the puppy, I want to call it like maybe a puppy love phase of just like getting better. And
I think you're just going through growing pains.
Yeah, it's growing pains for sure. Yeah. No, and I feel better. I went and hit today, so it was a good round and did like some glove work too. Because I always have to remember that there's a defensive element to the game. And I'm a first baseman, so, you know, got to work on that. But otherwise, it is just being obsessed with hitting. But, yeah, man, like real toxic relationship this week. It was like this thing where like this thing that I felt like I knew turned out to not be what I knew. And I felt like my heart was broken. And, you know, me crying at a bus station with my backpack and a bandana on a stick, getting ready to leave the game, man. I was getting ready to quit, getting ready to divorce the game. I was going to run away from home.
You said you were looking for your retirement papers.
I was looking for my retirement papers. I was like, this whole thing's just one big joke. You know what I'm saying? One big joke, because the game is so hard and it definitely keeps you humble. It's like anytime you start to feel good about yourself, it's like, hold on just a second. Let's make sure that doesn't happen. But today was like this thing, and you and I, obviously we talked a lot about it, and I also thought that was probably pretty funny that I think if somebody watched those conversations take place from the outside, it would just be me standing up, like doing these weird hand movements and like jumping up and down, like, because that's how I was kind of describing like what I felt like was going wrong in my swing and blah, 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 blah. But anyway, I think just overcoming that from a mental perspective, just realizing that like when you're in it, you're in it. I think if I was like just a day trader, you know, I'd be fine. Right. I think if I was like this might take a shot at some people in the league that I play in, but if I was just like somebody who just like didn't care and showed up and just did whatever, I'd probably have the most amazing fun time of my life. Yeah. But unfortunately, I'm cursed with the desire to be the best that I can be. Right. And I think just being in that mindset, it's like you got to commit to the good and the bad. And definitely like it feels like I'm in a valley right now. But yeah, I don't know. Today went hit, felt really good about it. And, you know,
out of the funk,
a little bit out of the funk.
Slump.
I think you just got to dig, man. You just got to keep swinging, dude. You just got to keep swinging. So, but outside of that, pretty good week for the most part. And we did we'll talk more because I've got more to say, but we can take a little side tangent. Monday was actually like a really good Monday because we just went toy hunting for like a couple hours.
Bro,
that was so long ago.
You're reminding me right now that took place this week. I know this is like a running theme. I'm like a broken record. Yeah. Every time we record, you say something, I can't believe that it... If you told me that happened in 1974, I would have believed you.
Yeah. Well, where we were at, a lot of things from 1974. So
I totally would have skipped the Mighty Champions road trip to the Dirt Mall.
Yeah. Well, it was like kind of crazy because I was thinking on the way there, I was like, man, like I'm itchy. I'm real bad. I want to get something, but obviously, like Austin.
Well, first of all, explain what the Dirt Mall is.
It's an antique mall, right?
Yeah, it's like an indoor antique mall with like multiple booths.
That's what antique malls are, I think, right? Like they're just...
Well, there's like antique stores, right?
Yeah.
And then there's like it's set up like a swap meet, but it's one business.
Yeah.
But that is consigning other people's stuff.
Exactly.
But yeah, so it's like it's not quite like a flea market, like a legit dirt mall, but it's like it's a little dusty, but like really well organized, really well like laid out.
Yeah, they do a good job. I think it's like really designed to be like, hey, this is going to keep you here all day. Yeah. Or like for a good chunk of the day. But we were going for toys. That was my third time going. That was your first time going.
Yeah.
So the last time I had gone was like awesome because it was after.
Danielle was like, would I like it? And I was like, unfortunately, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, probably. But I had gone there the last time after I went to like a sidewalk sale. That was just like the worst thing I've ever been to in my life. And, I've never been more angry at like toys and like the fact that like people were not taking cash and like all this stuff. So I was like, I'm itchy. I'm mad at this place. So went there, found some really good things, came back, and then you and I go there because I was like, hey, dude, I got I got this like massive gap between my next client, and of course
we just left work on.
You're the boss, so we're like, let's just rock and roll. But yeah, man, we go out there and I mean, we can skip ahead because there was like cool things. There was like some stuff where it's like, yeah, I might come back for that. But there is a like, I guess, booth at the very end that you get to, and it's like a case essentially just full of loose toys, which is speaking my language for sure. And I had gotten some things there last time, so I was like looking forward to going back and seeing what was also in there. And it was really weird because we sort of like spoke things into existence. Like you were like, I had talked about the camo Carnage.
Yeah, dude, when we did with the Action Figure Fight Federation,
Yeah.
you brought up for the first time ever and only time on this podcast, Jack's Pacific Bone Crunching Action WWF Camo Carnage Stone Cold Steve Austin. And who's kicking it in the glass case at the Dirt Mall?
Especially when you were like, dude, you gotta, like, maybe you'll find, the camo Carnage Steve.
I said it, and there it was.
And I was like, that's it right there. And it was like, that was crazy. That was like a spiritual level of like finding something and speaking it into existence. But looking through there.
You know what? Damn, I should have got it.
I should have got it.
One of us should have got it just on principle.
Yeah, like I actually was like, oh, we'll come back for that. I was like, we'll get that.
Because I was just like, I don't collect that. So we should have bought it on principle.
We should have bought it on principle.
I don't think I put enough weight into what a crazy coincidence
that is crazy. It's still there. Yeah. We know that for sure.
Yeah, that's true.
But found a couple like Lost Galaxy Power Rangers that I was like, all right, or Lightning Speed, Lost Galaxy, whatever, same concept basically. But it was like, yeah, I'm itchy enough to want to get some cheap, loose Power Rangers, fill up the miscellaneous shelf, and then I'm like digging in there, and then I find a Bibleman action figure. And that one was like just crazy.
A holy experience.
It was a holy experience.
And it kicked off, I don't know if you had a lot of this, but when you weren't around, it kicked off whole conversations that I had with people that were at work when you showed it off.
Yeah.
The next couple of days being like, oh, I talked to this person and they don't know what Bibleman is. And I talked to this person and they do know what Bibleman is.
Oh, really?
So like there was this whole like week-long conversation of, have you ever heard of Bibleman?
Yeah, like I figured more people. Like
I thought everybody knew about it.
You've heard of it.
I've heard of it. I never really interacted with it,
Yeah.
but it was around when I was growing up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was like that and Veggie Tales and all that kind of stuff. It wasn't my thing, but
Yeah.
I knew of it, and I was like, oh, I think that's a cool idea, Like, yeah, but I never like interacted with it, and I figured anyone right around my age, slightly younger, would know what it was.
That's what was so weird. And then like,
if you guys don't know what it is, look it up. It's like pretty fascinating.
it's sick. But it was like, so we'll skip ahead because obviously like we found like some stuff, but there was nothing really like crazy chomping at the bit. But yeah, finding that was like, I was like, okay, awesome. Like we're going to go scope around, check the other spots, do some recon, and then come back. And it's kind of a weird process because you got to go like ask for somebody to like come get the key, and then Camo Carnage, freaking Stone Cold's dad came in.
Camo Carnage Jeff.
Yeah, basically came walking around the corner, and he just was smoking a cigarette, probably in the break room, because he smelled like it. And then he came up, and he's like, which one you want, boy? And I was just like, this is for my nephew. I go to the gym.
The Power Rangers,
Yeah,
sir.
I was like, he's like, you got to kind of wiggle it. They got their feet are stuck, and I was like, okay. And then I grabbed the Bibleman. It was weird because it was like it said sale on it, and I was like, okay, cool. Some of the stuff is like priced kind of wild, like a little high. Power Ranger was like the one was $20, and then I found one that was $15. Exact same thing. I was like, I'll just take the $15 one instead of the $20 one, and then Bibleman was $25, and I was like, dang, bro, like. It's still worth it. And I was like, I'll still get it. And then, you take it up to the front, and then like the girls that were working the counter, one of them brings it up because she sees like it was, I guess like in their database, and got like 40% off of both. So the whole thing was like $20 or something like that, which was sick.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And then she's like starting to make jokes. She says Bibleman, and I thought she had heard of it. I was like, yes, I was hoping you were going to say something about it. And she was like, what even is that? And then just said was like trying to make jokes and stuff like that. And I was like, you're like insulting, like not only the toy, but like me too.
Yeah.
And then the guy next to me was like, kind of came in clutch because he was like, yeah. And then he did the whole thing. He's like, you ever hear of Veggie Tales? And they were like, oh yeah, kind of. But anyway, but yeah, dude, the controversy of like people being like, what is that?
Yeah,
and like
crazy.
talking about it.
Crazy.
But it was funny posting on an Instagram, like in my story, it was like random people coming out of it. Because I was like kind of surprised that like who out of people that I know were like liking it. And I was like, that's weird. That's weird. I was like, that's funny that like that would be the thing that gets this person to interact.
I never would have guessed in a million years that a Bibleman action figure would be such a conversation starter.
Yeah, well, it's like, I mean, you know, for anybody else, dude, like Bibleman is the name of the character. And they're like, what are his quotes? And I'm like, Bible verses.
The Bible?
Like literally.
The one girl at the Dirt Mall was like, asked you, she said, what's his catchphrase? I need to know. And I go, there's a book about that.
Yeah. I think that went over her head though. Yeah, so that was funny. I was like, I had no idea that that's such controversy. But what's crazy is that I'd been talking to my band about it because our drummer Mikey had asked me one time, like, would you ever get a Bibleman action? And I was like, heck yeah, dude. Like, heck yeah. And then literally find one. So I sent it to them and they were kind of like freaking out, like, yo, what? But yeah, that was a pretty fun day. We hit a couple other spots and it was just like bone dry.
Struck out all over the greater
Yeah,
Austin
you had a
area.
couple things I think that you were like holding in your hand and then you were just like,
Yeah, I don't think I say this every time, and then I'll remember halfway through the episode, oh yeah, I bought 19 things. But I think legitimately I haven't bought anything this week.
Are you sure? Because at the gym, I was on the computer and your email was up and it was like, thanks for your purchase. I don't know what it was. I didn't open your email, but it was Big Bad Toy Store.
Oh, yeah, I was going to talk about that. But
Okay.
I mean in person.
Oh, okay,
Yeah,
gotcha.
I didn't buy anything in person.
So, long story short, that was a really fun way to spend a whatever it is, Monday. So while most people were working at a crappy day job, we were rocking and rolling. So,
Yeah.
man, but today I was itchy because I was like working on the playset thing, and then I'm like, obviously I'm in the zone. So I'm like, dang, man, like
The playset research got me.
gotcha, kid. I bet, dude. I got to do that.
Stay tuned for that combo.
So I'm like, I got some time to kill. My girlfriend went to Florida, so I'm like, I'm riding solo right now. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to go to Texas Thrift. Obviously, I found multiple dinosaurs and stuff like that there.
Just like dinosaurs.
Yeah, man. So I go in there. You know what? Not all dinosaurs, because when I'm there, it's baggies and baggies and baggies. Like literally probably 20,000 bags of toys. But looking in them, you know, you're kind of like doing this deep dive. Ton of dinosaurs, but it's like the hard plastic zero articulation like ones. So they're like fake outs where I'm like, oh, sick. And then it's just like this like super stiff. You could throw it through a window, kind of like T-Rex. And then I end up finding a Stegosaurus from Jurassic
The train
Park.
store dinosaur.
Pretty much. Yeah, like they're cool. I think
The wooden train store dinosaur.
pretty much, yeah. Or like the Walmart bin where it's like zoo animals or whatever. But I end up finding a Stegosaurus. So it's about like, I don't know, 12 inches long. And they're always broken. Everything's always broken. But it's like missing a couple, little like spine things. Spikes.
Whatever, yeah.
Whatever.
Stegs.
I don't, maybe. But I was like, you know what? $3.59, like, I'll take it.
Yeah.
So I was like, it'll add volume. That's kind of what I was thinking. Is like, it'll add volume to the miscellaneous shelf. And then I decided, I was like, should I hurt myself today? Johnny Cash style.
To see if I'm real.
First song I ever learned to play on guitar. Anyway, I decided, I was like, I want to go to Collector's Crossroads.
Okay.
And we've talked.
If you guys have been following the show, or if you live in the Austin area, Collector's Crossroads is for absolute masochists. Like,
yeah,
you go
or tourists. It's
a tourist trap.
It's a tourist trap. It's a masochist spot for collectors.
If you're from this area, you go to this Ross-sized Valhalla of collectibles in general, and the first time you go in there, it absolutely blows your mind. And the 2000th time you go in there, and it's the same crap sitting there, you leave with sadness.
Yeah,
you leave with absolute sadness.
So I was like, man, like maybe I'm getting lucky because I feel like I don't know, man. Call it intuition or something like that. We need to come up with some sort of title for like figure intuition when you
gut feeling.
gut feeling, something like that. We need to tap dance on that for a little while, because that's what I felt when we were walking up to the antique mall. I even said something like a prayer to the action figure gods, and my prayers were answered. But going in there today, I was like, I'm just going to kill some time, need to get some steps in. And then I walk in, do the BS walk, to look at the stuff behind the glass that every other toy store on the planet has on shelves in plentiful, appropriately priced.
Yeah, they're museumed at Collector's Crossroads.
Exactly.
Not to be touched by the lowly plebeians.
Yes, exactly. So I go over to there's a tiniest of tiny little loose figure section, and bags from the 80s or whatever that they've been just kind of sitting in, and price tags from the 80s of what it looks like as far as what the quality of those things are. But there was some stuff in there, and I'm like, wait a minute, hold on just a second. And they had we talked about this before, where they had the classic Toy Biz Marvel stuff from the 90s loose for $25 each, which is weird because you can buy them completely brand new in great shape for freaking $25.
Yeah.
But they had a bunch of Power Ranger stuff, and I was like, okay, hold on just a second. Everybody shut up. Let me focus here. So anyway, I found they had some Mighty Morphin. They had some flip heads. They had
originals?
Yeah.
Okay.
They had some of those, which I was like, I love to just get stuff like that. Again, the miscellaneous Power Ranger shelf. And but then I started finding that they had the Zeo figures, and which is Power Ranger Zeo. Never watched the show, never watched that. Just recognize the suits, very nostalgic, and the toys. So that's what my connection to it. But I found a bunch of those, so I ended up picking up 3 of those. Picked up a green Zeo, a black Mighty Morphin flip head, and then a blue Zeo that's really bad shape. I should have put that one back. They were $8 each though.
Placeholder
And $8.
Nice. Scratching
the itch. And then the rest was pain. It was just walking around, and
the rest was pain.
And you're just wishing you're gonna find something good, and then I'm looking at the price tags, and then kind of smirking.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And it's I want them to come around. I pulled out my phone to eBay.
In all
some
fairness,
stuff.
I did find 2 minty Kenner Predators on card there at the exact appropriate price. It's not impossible.
Yeah, it's not.
Low likelihood, though.
Yeah, they don't have... You know what? It's it's really weird because they don't think obviously, they don't think an average toy store, a vintage toy store. They think...
Because they're a sword and, purse from 1918 and Kobe jersey place that has toys.
Yeah, but they think what they have are grail items because maybe they're just not familiar with it. And there was another collector guy in there wearing a WrestleMania shirt and stuff like that. And I wanted to chat with him because I could see him kind of having this head scratching look on his face where he was just kind of eh. And I think he was itchy too because he kept coming back to the same thing, a Micro Machines or something like that. And I think he ended up buying it. But it was just really weird. And then when I'm leaving there, I'm thinking to myself, I'm like, man, that place is just so weird. Every time it's still a mystery to me. I feel I have it figured out because it could be the most amazing place on the planet, but it's not. And as I'm leaving, there's people going in, and you could tell those are true collectors. And I'm like, maybe there's turning a leaf, and there were some things there, the Spider-Man classics and stuff like that have been there that have been tempting me, but are just priced a little too high. Those are gone. So I'm like, okay, things are happening there.
Yeah.
And then it kind of struck me where I'm the employees, they all wear a button-down shirt with the logo on it tucked in. And I'm like, that kind of just answers the question by itself, where it's the place, it's whoever owns it and runs it is you gotta look this way. You gotta tuck your shirt in.
Because they're trying to sell World War I rifles.
Yeah, exactly. They're trying to be a professional thing. And I'm and that's why they are the way they are.
Yeah. Yeah.
So anyway, I'm done chatting, but...
My week was really good, dude. Martial arts went, phenomenally. I wouldn't say that I took a quantum leap by any stretch of the imagination, but there was a little notable uptick in my cardio, in my coordination, and in my understanding of what I need to be doing. really, really mentally complex stuff going on at the moment. But that coincides with one of the like vets there, who's a 2nd degree black belt, was looking to get into barbell stuff and wanted to like learn that and get stronger at that. Shout out to Danny. And so we decided to kind of trade, where I would help him with that, and then he would help me in private lessons with some martial arts stuff. And so we've been doing that. And because we've been hanging out more, we got to talking about nerd stuff, interest. Turns out he's a big Ninja Turtle guy, which didn't come as a shock to me. But first time we've really had like a chance to kind of drill into it. And because we're talking about that, I told him I've got this Super7 Ultimate Ninja Turtle shelf, this like display, and that we were talking about it on the podcast, and that I was like waffling on whether or not I wanted to keep it or sell it and get a different Ninja Turtle thing in its place, right? Because I think I was saying something like, I like it, I don't love it, but I don't know, is it the cartoon Turtles from NECA? Is it the OG Playmates? I don't have a clear, this will replace that. Like one of the toy soldiers, Nick, was like, you could get the all 4 cartoon ones here, right? And I'm like, I could, but then am I willing to get the other stuff that I want at the price that it costs aftermarket?
Yeah.
Right? So like there's like, Turtles is weird. Turtles has a weird ecosystem. So anyways, I get home from training Danny and I take a picture of the display and I send it to him. And like as I'm hitting send, I'm looking at the picture and I kind of saw it from a different angle. I saw it like without seeing the stuff around it. I saw it alone and I was like, I do love this. Like this is giant Ninja Turtles from my childhood, dude.
Yeah.
I do love this. And it occurred to me the problem is not that I don't like this, it's that I stopped and said I was done and I need to add to it.
Whoa.
So what you saw in my email was a purchase of April O'Neil. Because she happened to be right when I had that. I went to Big Bad Toy Store. I said, "How much are these?" April O'Neil was like 40% off. Bang! Pulled the trigger right there.
Okay.
I'm gonna get a bunch of foot soldiers. I'm gonna get probably 2 regulars and 2 like broken battle damage like robot ones. I'm gonna start throwing a bunch of stuff in here. I'm gonna make this big and bad. I might even expand into the other side characters like Leatherhead and all these people.
Yeah.
I might make this a pretty big deal.
Cool.
I think I have the space to do it.
Yeah.
So I kind of came to this like turtle epiphany where I was like, no, it is Super7 Ultimates. It is. They're like, they don't have the most playability and they're really hard to stand up, but they're sick. You know what I mean? They're just an expanded, better version of the OG Playmates. And that's kind of where my wheelhouse is in my collection, is like new and old. Right. Like that's where kind of where I live. So that's what's going on with me with toys this week, is just like I kind of came to that epiphany. And I'm stoked on it. I'm fired up on it.
Yeah. Kind of gives more purpose.
Yeah. It was a weird like mental turnaround. Speaking of Nick Fowler, I put out the call this week on Instagram to get some questions from the toy soldiers. And I guess the stars of the show this week are Nick and Danny, because they sent us some questions. So Nick Fowler would like to know, what video game IP would you want to see made and by what company? I've got an answer for this.
I'll let you answer.
This is something that it's kind of weird that he asked this question, because I was kind of thinking about it the other day. If you guys have been following the show since like the first few episodes, I talked a lot about my video game collection. I have a vintage video game collection. I collect Nintendo 64, Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, PS3, some like old school video games. My favorite era of video games is Nintendo 64 wrestling games, right? WCW NWO versus the World, WCW NWO Revenge, WWF No Mercy, WWF WrestleMania 2000. Those 4 games are like the holy quadrilogy of N64 games and of wrestling games. You know, you can picture N64 graphics. It's that polygonal kind of look to them. I want WWE, Mattel, to put out a line based on those 4 games, or wrestling games across all of history.
Was it a video game or turning a video game into toys?
Turning a video game into toys.
Okay.
So what I want is those games, the art, the cover, the back, the layout, the design. That's what the card looks like of the action figure, right?
Okay.
The No Mercy card, the WCW Revenge card. Most of the roster is signed by WWE. Then the figure, you have the figures already. You cell shade them, right? Like I don't know if you saw Toy Shiz put up. He managed to get new retail from Target of vintage Alien vs Predator, Dutch, and I forget the other girls, like the arcade game.
Yeah.
The way that those are cell shaded, right? Not the way that the X-Men VHSs are cell shaded, but
Or that McFarlane does.
or not McFarlane, not the Best Action Ninja Turtles.
Yeah.
Like, like good. You know what I'm saying? But like on card, looking just like the art of the video game. Like, oh my God, I've dreamt about this for ages. And those are my 4 video games. There's hundreds of wrestling games. You could do whatever figure in whichever game and just make the card look like the game and cell shade the figure. Like, you know what I mean? And make it the attire that was in that game.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's customizers out there that are doing this. I would go nuts for this. Like, just turn all wrestling games into action figures, and it really it's the carding. But like, cell shade the figure, or like there's some people on Instagram that do custom polygonal like kind of statues. Make them polygonal. Make them look like quote bad. You know what I mean? Like make them look like, because those graphics are rough. But I don't care. I'm not, for my taste. I'm the one answering the question. I'm not gonna play with it anyway.
Yeah.
So like I'd be all about that.
I don't really have, because I was not really that big of a gamer until like Call of Duty, basically. Because one, I just didn't have a gaming system until like I was 14. And then when I really got obsessed with gaming, it was Call of Duty, Modern Warfare 2, specifically though, Modern Warfare 3. Because I was like, I'm going pro, and I looked at my guitar, because I'm a musician, and I was like, that was my life. And I was like, I don't care about music anymore. I'm going to play professional gaming. And then that was about it. But don't really game that much right now either. But I think like just referencing something that like I think was impactful to me playing as a younger that I loved, that related to the things that I loved. I think Marvel Nemesis action figures. Okay. I think we've talked about that before, maybe. But they did have their own design. Like, it wasn't just making a Wolverine or a Venom or Spider-Man or whatever. They were almost like loosely based off of Jay Lee art. He had that like really kind of like almost like 2-dimensional kind of look. And I don't know, he just has this really, really cool design, the way he does things. They did Jay Lee inspired DC collectibles like action figures, which were okay, but I would do it a little bit better. So I think maybe having like a Marvel Nemesis line, like sick. The Wolverine, his claws were like really long, and he was like he wasn't wearing the suit; he was just in like regular clothing. Daredevil, Human Torch, like all those characters, the Venom, Spider-Man, obviously. Like, I think there'd be a really cool thing. I guess Hasbro could do it, So
the other question from D Garrison 247: what is your most shameful buy? And I hope he means just action figures, because we're going to be here for a long time if I've got to talk about all the shameful things I've bought.
Yes.
We've had variations of this question come up before, and kind of the stock answer is like, I'm not ashamed of any of this, or I wouldn't be yelling into a microphone.
You could say
right
like,
now.
what are you like shameful in the sense of like cost, maybe?
Yeah, I don't really think that either. I will say I don't feel great.
You don't have that.
I do not have that. I will say I don't feel great about diving into another line of Star Wars and then immediately pulling the parachute for the second time. That I've done this. Like the cost, the like, what the heck was I thinking? Like, why did I spend the time on this, and like the effort, and like, so I would, we talk about it all the time. I love Star Wars. I love the first 3 movies, and if I was to read the books of the original trilogy, I would love that. But I can't stand really anything really beyond that. I love Mandalorian. But I watched the movies and I convinced myself that I was back in with 2 feet, and I dove off the cliff, and then I got about 10 feet in the air and pulled the ripcord and was like, nah, I'm cool.
That's funny. Yeah, I mean, I think guilt would be like a better way to put it. It's like I have nothing that I'm ashamed of buying, but I have things that I feel guilty about buying. That's been my like almost therapeutic like overcoming with doing this podcast, is like looking at buying toys as just, hey, this is work. It's work now. This is work. This is a work expense. So I definitely have moments where I feel guilty. And I think I've like gotten to a point now, maybe, I don't know, I just felt like I spent $25 on freaking, 3 loose Power Rangers. But yeah, I don't really have too much. I mean, like, I think if you are ashamed, it's like you don't love it as much unless you're buying weird stuff. Like if you're buying anime,
I mean, if you're on
statues
Reddit,
or something like that, that's shameful.
if you're on the action figure subreddit, there's some shameful stuff on there.
There you go.
All right, let's get into Action Figure Moneyball.
To be a winner, be strong, be ready to fight. To be a winner, be fast, command the spotlight.
Only today's greatest sports heroes make it to starting lineup. Collect baseball's Gary Carter, Eric Davis, and Wally Joyner.
To be a winner.
Detailed uniforms, every home team, and their official. Collect starting lineup, each sold separately.
To be a winner.
What is Action Figure Moneyball, you might be asking yourself? Well, have you ever seen the movie Moneyball with Brad Pitt? And he's the general manager of the Oakland A's. And he's calling people up on the phone, and he's trying to get, he wants their second baseman. And in order to get that second baseman, he's got to give up a draft pick and an outfielder. And what's the cost of all this? So if you're not a sports person, basically what we're about to do is we're going to play general manager. Hypothetically, we're not actually trading anything here. And we're going to kind of use this as an exercise to learn the value of things monetarily and emotionally from one another, right?
Yes.
Like, hypothetically, what would it take for you to let go of X, right? Hypothetically, what would it take for me to let go of X? We kind of came up with this concept, and then I really haven't put any further thought into it. Not to say that we're lazy, but that it will come as a surprise to me and to you. Right? So what we're going to do is we're going to give, I don't know, 2, 3 sentimental, like I never in a million years want to give up this thing to one another. And then the other person is going to attempt to put together a package deal that would get it out of that person's hands. Am I explaining this clearly?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. You want to offer first, or do you want to give up first?
I will, I'll offer just to kind of test the waters. Okay. So Legion of Doom is something you brought up.
The first one I gave as an example as we were conceptualizing this was my top shelf second row WWE Elite.
Not the Hasbros, right?
Not the Hasbros. Okay. You shut your mouth.
No, but that's what we're doing, though. That's what we're doing.
All right, let's go with the Hasbros.
Okay.
Let's go with the Hasbros, because honestly, you just made me realize if a gun to my head, I'd keep the Hasbros before I gave up the Elites.
Okay.
Dude, it's like neck and neck.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Okay, WWF, it's easier to digest for, I think, the listeners also. All right, my beloved quarterback 1, QB 1 on the team, WWF Hasbro Legion of Doom, Hawk and Animal, absolutely mint condition. No missing spikes, no paint chips, not even like around the feet. The actions still work. The Gorilla Press slams still work. Face paint, everything's intact. They're basically case fresh. So in order to get those out of my hands, you're going to have to offer up the earth, the stars, and the moon.
Yeah.
So this is an exercise in how well do you know me?
Yeah. So, okay. We'll start.
And it doesn't have to be action figures.
No,
it could be money,
true. Dang,
cars.
I'll start with toys first, and then we'll get there.
Girls, food.
the Robo 1.
In what condition?
Like mint, unopened, still has the plastic on it.
Okay. It's a good start. Like, it's a really good start. Monetarily, I think that costs more. That's about $200 mint in box. Or in box. Like the car will be mint. The box is never going to be mint.
Okay.
That's about $200.
Okay.
I know because I've been thinking about selling this First Blood book and using that straight across.
Stop thinking, start doing.
Well, I just haven't had the time. I
Yeah.
legitimately haven't had the time to list it. Monetarily more valuable than the Legion of Doom figures. Because they're together, I think I paid like $110 or something like that plus shipping. But they're very, very hard to find in this good of condition.
Okay.
Right? So that's not good enough yet.
Okay. Next one would be same figures.
Yeah,
Same figures. We're still going. Warehouse find of Rambo guns, still in box, pretty mint. The whole line.
The Largo ones.
Yeah.
The like guns, like
Guns,
packs of guns.
Yes. In box, you have space. You can mount them, do whatever you need to do.
No.
Okay.
Because I love those, and they do have like legitimate sentimental value because I can remember going to Toys R Us with my dad and getting those, and I think I've told the story. I made him take me again because I lost a grenade, and I got a whole second necklace, second knife, second gun because of that. Like, and then somebody had given me, kind of coincidence to this segment, an Oakland A's stuffed bear.
Crazy.
And I don't like the A's, so I put the Rambo Buddha necklace on the bear so that I would like it.
That's hilarious.
I don't have any of that currently.
Not even that thing? Like the pack with like the gun, the grenade and stuff like
It's
that?
not like eating me up inside that I don't have it. It would be sick if I found it, though.
Yeah.
It's like one of those kind of things.
All right. What's the name of the Rambo toys?
The Coleco.
Okay.
Like the Force of Freedom.
All right, the whole line.
I don't really care that much about the whole line. I like Rambo.
Yeah.
I like the branding. I like the concept of an R-rated movie action figure line. I do think they're sick because they're huge.
Yeah.
And stuff. But like, I would already collected them if I was like super into them. Like, but I am also considering, if I sell the book, getting that one Rambo figure or maybe two of them. Because the one in the white sweatshirt from the cartoon is sort of based on his look from First Blood, the first movie-ish. And like that's like one of my all-time favorite movies, like bar none. So, but you might want to start packaging some stuff together.
That's what I'm thinking, man. I don't know enough about wrestling to like...
It doesn't have to be wrestling.
Yeah, no, I know, but I was just trying to think about like what actually would get you to do it.
Yeah.
$2,000?
Yes.
Okay. There you go. $2,000.
Done. Yeah, you could have said like $500.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, but 2,000, great. Yeah.
Okay. Sold.
I win this trade.
Yeah.
You get these, and then I go buy many LODs.
Yeah, that's true. You could rebuy
on
them.
card.
Yeah, there
I get
you
them
go.
on card and loose. All right. What is in your collection that I know that you're just like, I'm not giving that up for the world? The thing that I was kind of riffing on when we were coming up with this was the Spider-Man Classics Daredevil. Is that a QB1 in your collection?
The thing is, I have like 3 of them.
Oh.
So, like, yes and no.
Okay, what is QB1 in your collection? What's the like one thing that you're just like, if the house is on fire, I'm running back in for this, pushing Samantha out of the way?
Crap, man, that's tough.
It's Toy Biz.
It is Toy Biz for sure. It is Toy Biz.
It's either a Spider-Man Classic or like an OG Marvel Legend. Mm-hmm. It's probably Spider-Man related.
I think like it's weird because I've lived without for so long with them. So it's like I feel like I can part with like.
Oh, you're making my job easy. Don't tell me that.
No, I know, but I'm saying like so. I was saying I don't know. Yeah, that's tricky, man. That is tricky. Yeah, we could say like Probably, I'm just gonna go just say the Punisher, like the Toy Biz Punisher.
Toy
I
Biz
got
Punisher.
a couple of them, but like those I found cheap.
Yeah.
But like if I had to rebuy it, it's like more pricey for sure.
Toy Biz Punisher. Is that the one I sold you?
Yeah.
Okay.
But like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. In a trade, if I just gave you like the Diamond Select Punisher with the arcade.
That one is really good because it's been tattooed in my brain, but I would pass.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about Toy Biz Marvel Legends Blade? On card with the motorcycle. For your Punisher.
Dang, man. I think I would pass.
You'd pass on
I
that?
would pass on that. Because I love that Blade figure, and I think that is awesome, but I love the Punisher way more.
All right.
I've never even watched Blade from start to finish.
You're not a fully formed person. We know this.
Well,
I think episode 1 you told me you were going to go home and watch Predator, and then instead you watched like Ernest Scared Stupid. So
I loved every bit of it.
okay, the Blade figure and the Thomas Jane figure.
Crap.
The Thomas Jane Punisher figure.
Yeah, I would do that.
You would do that?
I would because the Thomas Jane one is cool. It's not as cool, but they're both like the value of them is so much higher than that Punisher that I think that if I had those, then it would lighten the load, and I would just have to rebuy it again. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But those together are like $80 to $100 each.
Yeah.
So I think I would do that. I think I could do it.
Let's do one more each. So I'm gonna put in on the trading block because the franchise is going through some rough years. Right, we haven't won a championship in a while. I'm the Cleveland Browns. I've had the first pick 17 times and I still suck.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have to start selling some things off, and I'm gonna put my Kenner, I can't even believe I'm even saying this out loud in a hypothetical. It's still turning my stomach over.
Yeah.
My Kenner Batman animated series Combat Belt Batman.
Okay.
Is probably my next most like
Valued at like what?
like
$200?
$270 probably.
Okay.
It's gone up since I bought it.
Yeah.
Like $270 probably, something like that.
Okay.
Mint on card. Like House is on Fire. That's one of the things I'm grabbing for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, you're gonna have to back the Brinks truck up.
Or the Toy Biz, or wait, I think it's Toy Biz. Did Kenner? Which one did the Batman '89? Is that Toy Biz or Kenner? I think it's Toy Biz.
It's Toy Biz
for that whole line.
I'd rather have Combat Bell Batman.
Okay.
For whatever reason, even though that was like my favorite movie at the time, it was I misspoke when I said Ninja Turtles was the first movie I saw in theaters. Batman was the first movie I saw in theaters, and I sent you the pictures, like wearing the rubber mask. Like
Yeah.
I was and am obsessed with that movie. Somehow, though, I guess my parents just weren't taking me to the toy store yet in 1989, or I missed those figures. I don't have like a recollection of them existing.
Okay.
It's an adult memory of them when they're already vintage. So, that ain't gonna cut it.
Okay, let's see here. My custom figure just fell, and the head came off.
I
and
told
hope
you
that
no,
is-
and you.
I hope that's not some sort of prophecy.
Some voodoo doll. I would lay that down flat.
Yeah.
Yeah. Little voodoo doll action.
Okay. The original Playmates, Donatello, Michelangelo, Leonardo, Raphael, mint on card.
Series 1.
Series 1, like 1988 or whatever
Mint?
it was. Mint on card.
Easy deal. Done.
Easy deal. You got yourself
Done.
a deal.
Yeah. Honestly, that's like Yeah, that because that like as important to me as Batman the Animated Series is, it kind of doesn't hold a candle to like OG Ninja Turtles.
Would one of those would have worked? You think? Like Raphael or something like that?
Because then you'd be giving me a burden. If you gave me one, you're giving me the burden of acquiring the other three on my own.
Yeah,
right?
that's true.
If you give me all four, that's a completion to me.
That's not a crazy deal because like that is the definitive Batman of that line.
Yeah.
You know, it's like it's the only one that's like not a other color suit.
Yeah,
you know?
and it's pretty tough to get like minty.
Yeah,
Like pretty tough to get minty.
yeah.
All right, one more for you. Is there anything in your DC shelf that's like I really wouldn't want to let that go?
How about we just say my DC shelf?
Okay, the whole
So
shelf.
I do Universe Classics, DC Direct, like from like 2000 basically through like 2009.
And there's maybe a dozen figures in there.
Probably more than that. Like
Superman.
say 20.
Yeah, it's 20 figures, like several versions of Superman, several versions of Batman.
Yeah.
And then like some individual like B and C characters.
Yeah.
Vigilante and
Oh yeah. Which those are way more valuable to me. Honestly.
Yeah. No, those ones are like your jam.
Yeah.
Did you get Wildcat?
I got Wildcat.
Yeah, so that one's going to be tough to let
That
go.
one's tough, dude. I think Vigilante and Wildcat are like.
Did you have
really
a question?
Not yet. Not
Okay.
yet.
Okay. So, but if I'm trading,
Well, let's do this. Let's make it easier. Let's do Wildcat and Vigilante.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah, because those are like you squeed when you found those.
I did. I came running around the corner. John.
Okay, so two figures, two highly sentimental figures to you, challenging to get a hold of.
Yeah.
It's going to take at least a question, and like question's going to have to be part of the deal. I know that
Crap. Yeah.
because you're a question guy.
I am.
And you said you didn't get Wildcat?
I do.
You
I
do
have
have
both
Wildcat,
Wildcat and Vigilante.
Question and Spectre.
That is really good, but I think you're going to have to tack on a couple more.
All right. Question.
Let's go 5. I think you need to give me 5 before I let it go.
Hang on.
Okay. All right.
Question, Spectre, and the... God dang it. My brain does this where I know something like 1,000,000%, and then it just disappears from my brain. Who's the guy that's trying to eat the Fantastic Four? The Eater of Worlds?
Galactus?
The Galactus Build-A-Figure wave. The Toy Biz Marvel Legends Build-A-Figure.
I already almost have that built. I would say probably like I'd say keep going because I already almost have that one built.
I'm taking them off. I'm taking them off though. If I'm playing Madden and the trade gets rejected, I'm taking stuff off.
Yeah.
Okay, so Spectre. Do you care about Spectre?
I do like him. I do like that character.
Spectre
for sure.
question. I don't know these reject DC characters that you love.
I love these characters.
I don't know who like half of them are.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. Do you have a Black Adam? Like a comic Black Adam?
I don't, but I think The Rock just put that character back like for everybody.
Just killed it.
I think so.
Just killed it dead.
Yeah. So you can go outside the DC universe if you need to. Again.
I'm trying to think. Do you have the like Robins and Nightwings that you're like?
I have one Nightwing. I have like the definitive Nightwing.
But you don't have a definitive Robin.
I don't.
Which is Tim Drake? Mm-hmm. Okay. Question, Spectre, and Tim Drake.
Give me one more. Give me one
For
more.
real?
Yeah, I think so.
For real?
I just love those characters, dude. Like when I see
I'm
them,
hanging up on you if this is real.
I see them, but there's dude, Wildcat's a great prospect. Veteran. He's a locker room veteran.
All right.
Just give me one more. I think if we get one more, I think I do it.
All right. Since you went so sweet on the deal, giving me $2,000.
Yeah, basically.
The Hulk and Leader 2-pack.
Yeah. you got yourself a deal. And with those 3 figures, and it's basically 5 figures. Yeah, I would do that.
Yeah, and you're putting Leader on eBay immediately anyway.
No, I'd keep him.
Would you?
Yeah, for sure.
Even if it was the testicle head?
Yeah, because that's like the classic comic.
That's what he looks like on the card.
Yeah,
on the
for
Marvel
sure.
Masterpiece card.
Man, that's tough, dude.
Yeah,
that is tough.
Yeah.
It's weird though because it causes like we didn't really plan about like which figures we were going to go after.
No.
But it's really funny to like figure out like how, because it's like you got to overcome like sentimental value, which almost could be.
That's why I thought this would be interesting. I thought it would be interesting to listen to too, because then you start thinking about your own collection and going, what would it take for me to let go of these? Maybe it's something I paid $20 for, and now I wouldn't give it up for the world.
I still think I would do that deal, but I think I still would be like, oh god,
yeah,
like I would feel bad about it. That would have been a shame thing. Like I feel ashamed of that.
Yeah, that you let it go.
Yeah, exactly.
Get at us at Mighty Champions. Let us know what you thought of our trades. What would you not give up for the world? Offer us a deal. See, it could be real or fictional. Honestly, I'll entertain it.
Yeah.
But let's get to the news.
New at 11, buyer beware. A local family is outraged over a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles toy that they bought for their son. It says a variety of phrases, but the family believes one of them includes a swear word that starts with a B.
All right, we are running pretty long as it is, so we're going to run through the news relatively quickly, but it is kind of an exciting news week. A little bit of stuff that is not really directly figure related and kind of more like Hollywood related this week. One thing is that Hasbro has teamed up with MGM, and they are going to make the Voltron figures. What is your relationship with Voltron? None? Dude, you're in for a treat.
It's a movie coming out?
It's a movie coming out with Henry Cavill.
That's cool.
I mean, I don't know who he's going to be because Voltron is 5, like a team of 5. The Mighty Morphin Power Rangers directly ripped off of Voltron.
Gotcha.
Like it's the live action version of. Do you know anything about it?
I do know some about it.
So like that's exciting for us old heads. The other thing in kind of Hollywood news, again, Hasbro. It was announced that they are teaming up with Street Fighter, and they're going to make the movie Street Fighter figures, not Jada, which is crazy to me because the Jada figures are so good and so popular. So a lot of the people who are collecting those Jada figures are like, what the heck? The other thing that's interesting about that is that Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns are in that movie. That means that Hasbro, not Mattel, are going to make Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns figures. So that's kind of interesting, right? Like a company that isn't the company that makes the wrestling figures making wrestlers.
Yeah.
So that'll be interesting. In Turtles, over at NECA, they showed off the Shock Commando Triceraton, a 7-inch Triceratops in a spacesuit, which is just like just cool.
Yeah, it is cool.
Like it's just cool. Like
it looks like it would be a superhero in like an animated cartoon where they're like are going to see the movie, and it's like that's kind of like.
I believe this is from the comic line.
Okay.
And the Triceraton sounds somewhat familiar to me. As you noticed on the TMNT quiz that we did, it's like these memories are kind of fading to the background on this stuff, but the figure just looks amazing. In other NECA news, I don't know if you've seen any of this, but this week people have started posting that they've gotten their NECA Vault boxes. People paid, I think it was like $130, and they got a blind box from NECA that's called Vault. And I didn't pull the trigger on it because blind boxes suck.
Yeah.
These blind boxes are epic. Dude, people are getting Rocky figures that have been discontinued for ages.
Whoa.
People are getting the Predator figures that I collect, the ones before the Ultimates.
That's great.
Those are like 10 years old.
It's a really good idea, man. As long as you're giving good stuff and not BS.
Everybody's not getting good stuff. Some people are getting Simpsons 25th anniversary Britney Spears.
Okay.
So,
Resell, maybe?
Some people are getting some pretty whack stuff, but there's also some pretty amazing stuff. I immediately went to NECA's website, and I immediately gave them my email to inform me the next time that this happens.
Okay.
Because I will gladly give them, and you could, it's like aliens, all kinds of cool stuff.
Cool.
All kinds of cool stuff. G.I. Joe had a fistful of reveals this week. They showed off Airtight, like a G.I. Joe diver, diver with a machine gun. Looks cool. They showed off the Hydro Viper, basically the Cobra equivalent of that. It has like this really cool kind of demon mask that he wears, like that I think looks incredible. They showed off Overkill, not familiar with the character, but he gives me G.I. Joe in the early 90s vibes, like that's a recreation of one of that era. And then there's one that's classified that looks like a cowboy, and he's got an axe, a knife, a gun. Now that I'm looking at this silhouette, very well could be John Rambo from The Last Blood. But maybe not.
Wow.
They did try to put Rocky in the series in the 80s.
That would have been awesome.
Yeah, it really
Rambo
would have.
makes way too much sense, though.
Well, the Rambo and the Forces of Freedom was an intentional knockoff of G.I. Joe, which is why they didn't use Rocky.
Gotcha.
Because they were kind of like, all right, dude.
Yeah.
They also showed off Red Dog and Taurus, which is like a Joe team up. I'm not familiar with these characters. Dude in a baseball jersey or a basketball jersey. They look cool. Lots of weapons. And then Zanya and Dreadnought Chameleon, which is like a swamp skier vehicle. She looks cool. Like, tons of weapons again. Get a vehicle with it. Like, G.I. Joe Classified just is good every single time. And then there's Ninja Force Zartan, which I've never seen this version of Zartan, but I'm interested. He looks super punk rock. He's got a bow and arrow, which, again, Rambo. Binoculars, couple different swords and daggers. Man, G.I. Joe just kills it every time out. Transformers had a big week. They put up a list of 7 figures all at once that you can pre-order, I think, now, which is Leader Class, Liege Maximo, Voyager Class, Nexus Prime, Deluxe Class Smokescreen, Deluxe Class Autobot Powerglide, Deluxe Class Swerve, Deluxe Class Autobot Ratchet, and Deluxe Class Cliff Jumper. So if you're a Transformers guy, you just added 7 new figures to your collection. In Star Wars, they put up I believe from the comics, in the Black Series, a 2-pack, which is Cav and Misty, 2 kind of like unique looking stormtroopers. So like good addition to the Black Series. They also put up in the Black Series Lord Starkiller, which is kind of crazy because that's from the video game The Force Unleashed. Like, kind of cool that they're still serving that game.
Yeah.
And you know, the Black Series are good figures. Like, they are. They're good.
Yeah, they are.
And then in the Vintage Series, they put up Morok and 11th Brother from the upcoming Maul animated series. So, all kinds of Star Wars stuff. Marvel Legends, pre-order available now for the vintage Ghost Rider on the motorcycle. This is so dope. Like,
Yeah.
the 3 3/4 of this was on shelves forever,
Yeah.
and it caught my eye every single time I walked past it. And to have the 6-inch scale, like legit Marvel Legend of it, I think is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's cool.
Like, this will be a lot of people's version of a definitive Ghost Rider.
Yeah.
Right? This is not really necessarily news, but I put this in here because when I curate the news, I have a list of all the companies. Then I go through the companies one by one and go to their social media and check to see what they've posted. So on that list is Jazzwares AEW. The last time Jazzwares AEW posted anything was November. That's troubling.
Wow.
That's very, very troubling. So, something to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
Something to keep an eye on. And then the last 2 bits of news, Mezco showed off a 112 Nightcrawler. Like, obviously, the Mezco 112 figures always look spectacular, and this Nightcrawler is no different. And I'm sure people are going to get it and love it. We always talk about this, and we're going to keep on talking about it. That price point ain't us,
Yeah.
but it does look awesome. And speaking of that price point ain't us, Mondo 16 showed off their Superman animated series. It is just like incredible. Like the likeness, the sculpt, the dimensions. It comes with Lois Lane and a flowing cape and Mr. Pixel, Miss what's his name? Mizzleplix,
Yeah.
whatever that guy's name is. Like it is amazing. Like a work of art. Not going to get me to pay for it ever.
Yeah, definitely not.
And honestly, it's not that dissimilar, although it is articulated, but it's not that dissimilar from just my 10-inch Mattel Justice League Superman.
I agree.
Once you just pose it and put it on the shelf, not that dissimilar. Did you have any news that you wanted to chat about?
Nothing on my end.
All right, let's get to the main event.
I got it! Wow!
Here it is, the USS Flag aircraft carrier. Imagine being on the deck of this aircraft carrier.
The USS Flag is fantastic! It's so big! All right, now! Launch station! Get ready to launch aircraft! Where's the Admiral? Not here! Fire! We got Cobra! Go!
USS Flag aircraft carrier comes with what you see here. Other figures and equipment sold separately.
All right, the reason that we've gathered here today is because we would like to talk to you about playsets. We're going to go through our Mount Rushmore of playsets. And I did a lot of digging. I went through a lot of playsets here. There's honestly so freaking many of them that are so unbelievably cool. We kind of had a little talk about this, and both of us pretty much grew up without playsets.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know that when I was a kid I even wanted or asked for them, but I never got them. I know that. And I really, most of them, I never even learned they existed until like later on. Like, you know what I'm saying? I wasn't sitting around like asking for the Spider-Man Daily Bugle. Like I didn't know it was a thing.
Yeah, me either.
So there's a lot of them like I found out after the fact.
Right.
But I think they're so unbelievably cool now.
Yeah.
Like, I knew about Castle Grayskull. I knew about the Thundercats lair, like certain ones. But I think maybe in my head, I wouldn't have thought they were too expensive because I didn't think along those terms as a child. But I might have thought they were too big a lot of the times. And been like, I really don't want that taking up half my room. Like,
yeah, that's weird. That's a weird thought to have as a kid.
Dude, I was an organized kid. Like,
Okay.
I was a destructive kid. But
Yeah.
even I was as organized then as I am now.
Organized chaos.
Yeah. So, and then once we're done going through our Mount Rushmores, we've fantasy built a playset each that we're going to talk about as well. So, run through what's your Mount Rushmore? What's your 4 that are just like you?
So, you said it, didn't have playsets growing up, and I did think that is too expensive. I think maybe just my parents always were just like talking about how poor we were all the time. So it was just like, oh, you're just going to assume you'll never have that. Yeah. And I think I was just
Don't
like,
even
that
ask.
was, yeah, it was kind of just like, if I'm looking at it, I'm looking at it behind plexiglass, because it's just like, that's how far it is from me. So this was tough for me because I was like, okay, I would have to look at them now, basically, because there are a ton of them that I had never heard of. And a lot of like the prime playsets came before me.
Yeah,
right?
the playset heyday was like the late 80s.
The late 80s, and then the 90s had some good ones too, right? The Daily Bugle Spider-Man, that's 90s Toy Biz, right? So I would have to go back in time and look at that, but then I really kind of started to challenge myself. I'm like, okay, what do you remember? What were some of the playsets that you experienced that held a weight in your brain that like burned their image, that if you found them, you would have a hard time passing them up, right? So I would say the number one for me, this is really weird because it's just like, this is so random, right? But the number one would be the Fisher-Price Great Adventures Castle playset.
No, dude, that deserves to be on a lot of people's Mount Rushmore.
And I guarantee you it would be.
Yeah.
I guarantee you it would be. My only experience with it ever was somebody's house. I have no idea who this person was. I don't even remember like anything about it. I just remember they had it. The other one was I went to a thrift store with my mom, and they had this like centerpiece or like center spot in the middle of the thrift store that was just like a little pit that you could put your kids in while you shop, and it was like a wall that like I would have to have climbed over or to climb in. And I remember like my mom was like, "Do you want to go in here?" And I like look in, there's like already one kid playing there. I was like, "Yeah, sure." And that was in there.
Okay.
And there was probably like what looked like 2,000 knights.
Yeah.
And that kid was already playing with it. And then I just remember being engulfed in it. Like, I think it was one of those things where mom was like, "Okay, it's time to go." And I'm like, no. Like, we cannot leave. And it was almost just like, I'm pretty sure I snuck one of them in my pocket.
Like
if
the
I'm being
castle
honest.
is not safe.
Yeah. So that one I think was definitely amazing. I would love to just stumble upon it at a thrift store or something like that.
Have you looked up what it goes for?
Yes, it's
What is
expensive. Probably like 300,
Okay.
something like that. Like in that kind of range.
Okay.
All right, let's see here. The next one, kind of in the same thing. Never had them, but they were so dominant in my like friends' lives, which is the Lego Castle playsets. Like
Equally as awesome.
Equally,
like,
dude.
Two things that really didn't ring my bell, but I could fully understand how somebody else was like, "Oh my God, this is like the peak of imagination."
man, going to a couple different people's houses where they had like tubs and tubs and tubs of Legos, and they were just like straight up like the knight set or like the castle set. Do you want to play like cowboys, knights, or ninjas? And it was just like, I guess
Isn't
knights.
there like a super famous Lego cowboy set too?
There is. That's the one I talk about that I got for my birthday.
Yeah.
Which was amazing. That one I almost put on there, but I think the castles like rang a little because I actually like I think that was like my freaking first birthday or something like that. But those are amazing. I mean, the swords, like the gold or sorry, the silver foil kind of swords, I think are really, really like just stuck in my head. I'm pretty sure I stole a couple of those as well.
You're such a klepto kid.
Dude, when you're poor and fat.
Put it back, fat boy.
Exactly. That's usually my response to me being a diehard Little Caesars fan, which I am, ride or die, baby. It's just like, yeah, dude, like when you grow up poor and fat, something that's cheap and abundance, baby, let's go. All right. And then this one has been ringing in my brain since time immemorial. Since, to quote Tony Soprano, which I need to bring my Sopranos thing into before this episode ends. I have, and I've talked to you about it, where I have this play set from what I actually found in our storage unit. And I went there to kind of try and find it probably like a year or two ago. Couldn't find it. I know it's in there, but it's basically like a trash can and or like a dumpster with like a trash can next to it or whatever. Anyway, long story short, figured out today where it was from because I was like trying to rack my brain. Where did this come from? The Toy Biz Spider-Man alleyway playset.
Oh.
Dude, it was just like this little scene. Came with a Spider-Man. There's like a street lamp, a dumpster with like some green ooze coming out of it, a trash can next to it that folds that you can like push
Isn't
down.
that just the accessories that come with the Spider-Man figure? The movie,
it kind of is like that,
figure?
sort of, but it comes with like a brick wall with like clothes hung up on them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So very same vein, but so I thought it was a Spider-Man from the movie, but it was that playset, and I'm like, there it is, like that. So that solidified it for me. And then my last one here is outside. That is probably the best playset, man.
Well played.
Because I'm like, like I never had it, but like outside was like, you had everything.
I'll be honest with you, because I didn't have them either.
Yeah.
All I needed was that little garden shovel and a hose.
You just dig a freaking river or whatever.
Dig a river, dig a hole.
Yeah.
Like whatever. Yeah. That was all I needed.
So that's kind of that's like what got me into thinking about this. And I was like, man, like it opened the door, right? I've talked about my love of the knockoff G.I. Joes, the core that were 98-cent toys back in the day with vehicles that were like $3 to $5, like straight up G.I. Joe level figures, G.I. Joe level weapons, G.I. Joe level.
Well, let's not go that far.
Well, I'm just
G.I.
saying.
Joe-esque.
Yeah, but like,
Yeah.
the old versions, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like they were essentially the same thing, just a different name. And they were, however many dollars cheaper. But they would come with vehicles that you could get easily access the vehicles. And they had some play sets, but they were I never saw those, but they had accessories like sandbags and like barbed wire fences and like artillery things. And I just remember one time in particular going outside, and my friend had like a sand pit, and it was basically just like an entire like base camp setup with all the vehicles.
If you were like, let's go do that right now, I'd be so down.
Exactly. So that, to me, I was like, that's it, man.
Yeah.
Outside is the greatest playset.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to be able to top that.
And somebody is listening are like, you poor fat little...
Fat boy.
Exactly.
All right. My Mount Rushmore, I really put a lot of thought into this. And your approach to most of the stuff we do is like, what would have fired me up when I was a kid?
Yes.
And most of my approach is what fires me up now because of when I was a kid,
Yeah.
right? Same but different.
Yeah.
I kind of tried to tackle this with almost like the same mindset as you. Like, if I would have had the money and the awareness that these things existed and put it on my Christmas list, what are the things I would have wanted the most then?
Fair.
Because in all likelihood, they would still be the things I would want the most now, right? like, because that's just who I am.
Yeah.
So you could call this list the Mount Rushmore kind of basic, but a Mount Rushmore is a Mount Rushmore, right? That's why we're calling it that for a reason. It's like, these are the ones that deserve to be on there, in my opinion.
Yeah.
And I kind of was like, is this too obvious, too basic? And I was like, nah, that's Mount Rushmore. That's how it works.
Yeah, nobody would disagree with you.
Yeah, well, if they do, they're wrong.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, just acquired it, just refurbished it. It's on Instagram. The WWF Hasbro ring is, you know me. If I almost use the word goated, which is a word that I hate, then we're talking like it's top tier as it gets.
Yes.
The WWF Hasbro ring is just a blue shell with 4 ropes. And it's the greatest playset that ever walked God's green earth, because you got figures that you can slingshot in the ropes. You can set up your entire figure federation with the Ultimate Warrior as your champion and the Rockers as your tag champs, and you have good guys and bad guys, and you got Randy Savage in his entrance attire, and you got Randy Savage not in his entrance attire, and then you just put him behind your back, then you take him out the other side, and it's like he took his entrance attire off.
Nice.
Like that's all you needed was that. So, and at the time, it wasn't that expensive. Like, it wasn't that expensive, which
It's
is
a
why
genius-like thing, because it's just a box with like strings, so it's like it makes perfect sense.
But it's branded, right? It's
Yeah.
blue, like bright blue. At the moment, loose, it goes anywhere between 70 and 120, depending on the condition, right? Mint on card, well over $500.
Wow.
Like, and there's a lot of versions of it as well. Like
Okay.
a lot of like round posts, flat posts, black posts, blue posts, foreign language ones, electronic ones, different belts that come with it, whether it comes with a figure. There's a lot of versions of it, but like, you're definitely paying more than $500 if you want a mint one.
Yeah.
The box alone is $100. The empty box is $100. The next thing on my Mount Rushmore, didn't know it existed as a kid. Didn't know it existed until this week.
Okay.
Dead serious. Never seen it in my life. Even though it was produced for 12 years and repurposed for multiple things. The Batman Command Center, which was the 89 movie, the sequel to the 89 movie, Batman Returns, and Batman and Robin, and Batman the Animated Series, repurposed over and over again, and I've never heard of it until now.
Dude, they all look good. Because I was looking at that too. I was like, they just keep using the same one over and over and over again, but they change the colors slightly.
Yeah.
But they all look amazing.
I'm gonna single out the animated series one.
Yeah,
and
for
what
sure.
changes, if you're unfamiliar, is the color scheme, the box,
The
for
Batmobile.
sure. Well, I don't think it comes with a Batmobile. I think they show a
they
Batmobile
show
because it
it,
has
yeah.
a garage.
Yeah.
But the computer has stickers that you put on the screen, and those stickers are for whatever property that you bought the box of.
Gotcha.
It's pictures of Vicky Vale, or it's pictures of Clayface, or it's
Yeah.
pictures of Mr. Freeze, or whatever. Right? So if I was to like get to choose, I would probably go with the animated series, because it kind of goes. That's my favorite Batman anything.
Yeah.
If I a gun to my head, had to choose. But like you get the computer, you get the thing that spins around and changes from Batman to Bruce Wayne, you get the garage, you get the Wayne Manor with like breakable skylights, you get like a scaffolding scene on the backside, you get a grappling hook or like a dangling string kind of thing, like. Dude, when I learned about that this week, which I was like, how on God's green earth did I not know about this? How was this not advertised to me ad nauseum as a kid?
I'm curious if they're gonna remake it. They've been doing like the like retro things. I'm like, I wonder if they would remake that.
They got to.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's on there. This one I absolutely did know about. Maybe I did ask for this as a kid and I just never got it and I just moved on with my life. But the TMNT Technodrome, which has been remade, but I'm talking about the original like '89 Playmates one. You talk about like playability and reference to the show. Like the Technodrome is such a big part of the show. It's like part roving tank and part Death Star, and it's like half the episodes take place inside of it. Like. And as like playability, it's got it is a vehicle, and on the inside it's like a playset. It's very much a playset with like tons of like a little prison and trap doors and all this kind of stuff, and like it's just ripped out of the cartoon. The loose price for an original one right now is about $290, like a little less than $300.
Okay.
I could not find an on-card one.
Wow.
Like that. That's rare.
Sounds like something DVT would have, though.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, they probably do. They're probably like, yeah, we got 10 of those. What do you mean?
Yeah.
But I couldn't find it on eBay. And then the last thing on my Mount Rushmore is, like, obvious, dude. The USS flag. Like, we wouldn't be a good podcast if we did a Mount Rushmore of playsets and one of us didn't mention the USS flag.
Yeah, I'm glad that you have a very much more, like, you're going to appeal to the masses and I appeal to just me. And that's about it.
You missed G.I. Joe, but if you had a 7-foot long,
I would have loved every bit of it.
4-foot wide,
would have slept on it.
Battleship that fits every single G.I. Joe vehicle, which are enormous, on it or in it, and has like a whatever you call the flight deck thing. It has a microphone on it that like changes your voice and plays like alert noises.
Wow.
Like satellites and mounted guns and like. That is the ultimate playset, and nothing will ever top it. Now, it's completely and utterly impractical. It is the size of Shaquille O'Neal.
It's 6 foot, I thought.
7.
Oh, it's 7 foot?
Yes, and 3 feet wide.
Wow.
It is if you had Shaquille O'Neal laying on your floor all the time, you'd be annoyed by that. That's the reason why nobody's got one. Like, dude. So it's impractical. A loose one right now, anywhere between $1,200 and $2,300.
Yeah.
Like, because the condition really, really, really ranges. I believe the one that DVT had most recently was $3,500 in box, and that's not even sealed.
Yeah.
That's not sealed. That's just put back in the box. Like $3,500. Like that is probably among the mass-produced figure grails, period.
Yeah.
Like toy collecting grails, period. Like it's got to be up in that range. Those are our Mount Rushmores. You want to go first with your fantasy one, or you want me to go first?
I can go first. I had a hard time with this one because it was
I had the easiest time ever. It came to me like a stroke of lightning.
Yeah, exactly. For me, it was like, well, what are the obvious ones? What's already been done? And I have to go back and correct myself because in one episode where I think we did the figures that were never made, I guess I just did terrible research, but I had said that they didn't have a Justice League Watchtower. But they do.
Oh, really? Okay.
For Justice League Unlimited. I would have done it better for sure. So that was going to be my initial one that I was going to go with, is like build a Watchtower. But it basically checks all the boxes. So I was like, I'm going to challenge myself a little bit more. Then it got me thinking that before we started this podcast, we had been talking a lot about just like coming up with like scenes and stuff like that. Like what would we want to like bring to life? And we even went to Hobby Lobby to look at like miniature like tables and chairs and stuff like that, just to sort of like, how could we build a scene? And then I was like, well, that's it then. That's the scene that I want, which would be the Punisher's hideout.
Sick.
So you would get, I don't know, like it would be maybe like the size of a shoebox to fit, or like maybe a little bit bigger to fit.
Like a shoe display case.
Yeah,
like a
something like
sneaker
that.
display box.
Yeah, like something like that would come, that you would put together. I'd maybe do it a little bit bigger, probably, now that I'm thinking about that. Maybe the size of that thing. You know what I'm saying?
The NECA street scene.
The street scene.
Which is, if you haven't seen one in person, it's pretty big.
Yeah.
It's like 2 feet wide and probably 2.5 feet tall.
Yeah.
And probably 2 feet deep. Like it's big.
So maybe something like that size, that would have a garage port with the black van.
Okay.
So we get the van in there.
And you're talking 6-inch scale.
A 6-inch scale, yeah. And in my world, it comes with the van because that's how it should work. But in collecting world, they're like, nah, we're gonna make that way more expensive. So it would come with the van, with like a garage door that would open and close. It would come with a wall of guns that would all be removable.
Yeah. Usable, swappable,
whatever.
Yeah,
You got it all there.
rearrangeable.
You get medical supplies, bandages, scissors, stuff like that. Like maybe some that you could open, kind of like the suitcase with the money.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. You get a computer set up with a journal on it. So just kind of a little like a war journal kind of type thing. That could be just like stuck to the, like just part of the actual desk or whatever. I'd put a fridge. Yeah. And then I would have a wall, probably near the weapons wall. That would be like photos of, like, if you look close enough, they're like existing Marvel villains and like crime people and stuff like that. Most wanted type, like a wall, like a wall of them. Maybe with
case files.
Case files with like some string pointing here and there, whatever. Yeah. Some red X's over the faces of some characters.
Yeah, they've been taken out.
Yeah, exactly. But I think you could do that. I might even add in like a little bit, like with the van, maybe you can take the engine out. You have it on like, like hanging up where there's like tools and stuff like that. But just like an all around Punisher's hideout. Just have all these little Easter eggs and stuff like that. But yeah, make it this thing. I think that would be really
Got to put your own War Machine armor in there.
That would be sick. I think that was what you were saying.
Yeah,
is like
that's
you
what
should
I was trying to do.
have like War Machine armor hanging in the back, know, like half painted or like maybe the head off or something like that. Like that type of stuff, man, where this is just like someplace on 51st and Broadway. That's where he's hiding out. So that's mine.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So I think yours and mine are in the same line.
Okay.
You know what I mean? They might even connect, right?
Okay.
So my thought process was, I was like, okay, what am I gonna do here? And then I was like, okay, like what is my like kind of favorite thing? And my favorite thing is violence. I like battles.
Yeah.
I like violence. And then I started thinking, okay, what are my favorite battles? And as soon as I thought that, the first thing that popped into my head was the Marvel Masterpiece card that has Wolverine and Sabretooth on it. Oh. That was the first time I ever fell in love with the concept of a battle in Marvel. So then I started thinking of, okay, going down a road of like Snow. Mm-hmm. And then I thought, no, that's two. It's two in a bottle. That's two figures you get to use with that.
Yeah.
Then I went, okay, what can I use? Any figures, any Marvel figures, any wrestling figures, any figures, and let them fight. I want you to think about the Harlem scene in The Incredible Hulk versus Abomination. I want you to think about Man of Steel in Smallville. I want you to think the Battle of New York in Avengers. I want you to think the truck flipping over in Dark Knight. A street.
A street.
It's called Destruction Boulevard.
Oh my God.
It's a 6-inch scale street, right? That's maybe, I don't know, in reality, maybe 4 feet long.
Yeah.
So we're talking about modern USS flag. It's not cumbersome to own, but it's big.
Yeah.
Right? And it's a narrow street, and it's got asphalt that caves in and leaves like craters. It's got sidewalk slabs that like come up and go flying. sewer grates that pop up and can be like thrown.
Amazing.
It's got 2 or 3 or 4 like building facades with like maybe NECA even makes it and it connects to the street scene. It's like part of the NECA street scene, right? Like these buildings, windows that smash, and this has, I don't know if you can see it behind Lizard.
Yeah,
there's
like the wall comes down.
A panel of bricks that comes down, right? You do that, but it's individual chunks, right? So you could smash people through the walls and create, just mayhem, fire escapes. Does NECA make the fire escape?
I think so. Somebody does that.
I think it's NECA.
Okay.
Bring that in there.
Yeah.
Destructible fire escape, like bendable metal, all that kind of stuff. Storefronts that collapse and fall down. Light poles, traffic lights, street signs that rip out and can be thrown and smashed and bashed, right? That are like connected to the ground so they leave like a hole when you lift them up. Breakaway walls that like cave in and like smash, all that kind of stuff. And then you have like rebar and rubble and like maybe 1 or 2 cars.
That's what I was saying. I was like, what about the vehicles?
They'd be like cars parked along the street that
I would put vehicles. I wouldn't make them like you couldn't pull them up or anything like that. I would keep it because that would be almost too perfect. But you do like vehicles that are smashed already.
Yeah.
So then if you needed to have them like slaying on the car.
Because I'm also keeping the toy photographers in mind here,
exactly.
right? Because that's a big thing right here. I even came up with an expansion pack.
Okay.
Later on down the road, you get a bus.
Sick.
You get a newsstand that crumbles.
Great.
You get an ATM machine that like spits out money. Subway entrance kind of collapsible thing.
Yes.
Bridge, like the beginning of a bridge that goes at the end or something like that, right?
Amazing.
Like for some true peril.
Yeah, I'm like looking at this shelf that you have behind you where I'm like, fit on something like that. Maybe be a little bit thicker, but like, dude, God, that would be amazing.
Yeah, dude. Destruction Boulevard.
Hot dog stand.
Yes. All that stuff, dude. The figure photographers would go nuts for this.
Yeah.
Nuts for this. So we connect to your Punisher's hideout lair is part of my street scene, which is Destruction Boulevard, which is made the same way that the NECA street scene is made. And you got your...
God, that could fit every living line on this planet.
Any action figure that's ever existed, you could put on that. Right? Maybe not, Castle Legos.
Yeah,
but anybody who fights,
dude, that is good.
Think of the photography. Oh my God. All right, that's it from us this week. Thank you guys for making us part of your day. Get at us at Mighty Champions. Hit us with your playset, fantasy playset. Like, I legit want to hear about your fantasy playset. Like, please, I get juiced on this stuff. Let us know what you thought of ours. Let us know what you thought of our Mount Rushmore. Whatever it is that we talked about, get at us. Thank you for making us a part of your day, and we will catch you guys a week from now. Peace.